Willie D Live.
What's up, family? So we got a video of this old cantankerous lady. Well, she's not a lady, woman, who decides to accost her neighbors because she didn't like the idea that her neighbors put a property marker in their yard. She goes over to their yard, takes it out, slams it on the ground. I've seen a lot of videos like that as of late. I'll show you the video in a moment, but I've seen a lot of videos like that as of late where white people specifically don't like the idea that black people are living in their neighborhood. So they cause trouble. I've even seen videos as far back as the 70s, 60s, where sometimes it was kids who were up in arms about black people living in their neighborhood. They would be interviewed by news organizations, right? And I read some comments where some black people would say, well, why you move over there anyway? I wouldn't want to live anywhere where I'm unwelcomed. Why do you want to live around them in the first place? It's not that somebody necessarily wants to live around them. People want to live where they can afford to live. They want to buy the best house that their money can afford. They want to live in the best neighborhood that their money can afford. They want to send their children to the best schools that their money can afford. The thing is, the reason why you see so often black people moving in white neighborhoods is because of systemic racism. You see, this whole thing, this whole hood, ghetto, suburban thing is a social construct. So what they did was they would purposely make it so that black people could only buy homes in disadvantaged neighborhoods. They wouldn't even give black people loans. And most of the time they wouldn't give them loans. And if they did, they wouldn't give them loans to live in certain types of neighborhoods, right? I mean, it was a huge obstacle to try to overcome, right? And we still have not overcome that obstacle. But in any event, the social construct is we are going to relegate this area for the blacks to live in, and this area for the whites, and some other people and everybody else, right? This area, we are not going to do anything. This area is going to have decaying infrastructure. This area is going to have abandoned buildings eventually, abandoned homes eventually. And we're not going to do anything to improve the living conditions. And so this is why black people who got money and they can afford it, they don't want to live in a neighborhood with inferior infrastructure. They don't want to live in a neighborhood where there's abandoned homes. They don't want to live in a neighborhood where the police show up 2 hours later, if they show up at all, or a neighborhood where the pizza man don't want to deliver because they're dealing with some fools that might try to jack them for the pizza. So they purposely neglect underserved communities. This is what your city council and your mayor and all of these people do. They purposely neglect these areas while at the same time paying attention and investing in these other areas. So obviously, if you can afford to live somewhere better, that's what you're going to do. It has nothing to do with wanting to live amongst white folks or these type of folks or any type of folks. Black people do with their money the same thing white people and everybody else do with their money. They buy the best that their money can buy, whether it be a house, a car, clothes, or whatever it is, or even a vacation. They buy the best that their money can buy. But check this, family. Check this out. Here's another uncivilized mutt in action.
You pull him out of my yard. You can go fuck yourself, you goddamn fucking ass nigger.
Minor Police is gonna love this. You know that, right? You're in their files already. I'm so glad. That's good. That's good. That's rich. You're real mature.
Delete it right
You're going a lot of places.
Delete it.
You're going places.
Delete it right.
She said delete it. Delete it. Delete it right now. Delete it. Why is she proud? I don't understand why they work so hard to be racist, but then get offended when somebody calls them a racist or when somebody puts them on blast. I would think that they would be like Superman with a cape on that say racist. Ah, here I come to save the day. Now, here I come to ruin the day. Yeah, I would think they'd be proud of it because they work so hard at doing it. They are very good at doing it. Here's the thing about these type of people too, fam. One of the reasons why they get so angry at Black people moving in, it's not that they think that their property value is going to go down. That ain't it. That's another one of their excuses that they use. See, that's the deflect, right? It's not that. Because if you look at these neighborhoods overall where Black people live amongst non-Blacks, usually the Black people are the best residents. They're usually the best neighbors. You know why? Because they're under scrutiny 24 hours a day. They're already being stereotyped, and they know this at all times. So they make it a point to be good neighbors. When I used to live in a high rise in the Galleria, do you know that the Black tenants were the ones who never caused problems? I lived in that high rise for 4 years, and I never saw a Black person getting out of line, getting loud, coming in drunk, stumbling, falling on the floor. I never saw a Black person one time walking down the house, just arbitrarily knocking on people's doors, playing games. I never saw that, but I saw some other people doing it. Yeah, I never saw a Black person do none of that in 4 years. In 4 years, never once the police called for a Black person for having a disturbance, disorderly conduct, none of that. So that is the lie that they try to tell to justify their racism, to justify their bigotry, right? That's what they do. The reason why a lot of them don't like Black people in their neighborhood is because when they see a Black person in their neighborhood, it reminds them that perhaps they're not doing as good as they thought they should be doing. Because in their minds, knowing that they have the advantage, knowing that the deck is stacked in their favor, knowing that they got good old racism at work at all times, they can't understand how did that Black person slip through the cracks and be able to move right next door to me? How did he get a chance to move right across the street from me? How did he get a chance to move on my street? I'm white, for God's sake. Why? How? That's what a lot of it is, family. I'm telling you. A lot of it is they're not doing as good as they think they should be doing in comparison to a Black person. Because the Black person don't move in the neighborhood, they doing good, they straight, they're good. Everything's all good. They think they're doing great. They're okay. And even if they wasn't doing great, they think they're doing good. They're doing good enough for right now, even though they think they might be moving up, right? They're doing good for right now. But they turn around and say, a Black person, wait a minute. I don't think I'm doing as good as I thought I was because I'm supposed to be doing better than them. You see? That's that entitlement. That's that entitlement that make them behave that in that manner. That's that entitlement, that deep down hostile racism. Yeah, it's that. It's embedded deep down in their soul. It's in their DNA. That's what makes them behave the way that they behave. That deep-seated hatred that the average person cannot understand. Especially a person who claims to be a Christian or love God. Can't understand that. I'm talking about a person who practices it for real. Can't understand that type of mentality. Because most people who are about something, most people who are decent, really do have a live and let live type of mentality, as long as, or a philosophy about life, as long as you're not hurting anybody, right? But these uncivilized mutts, wherever they see that blackness, whoo, boy, they get. Even in the department stores, sometimes you see them in the, they're in the Gucci stores, the Louis Vuitton stores, and they're looking, they got that old snobbish, pompous ass look on their faces, like you can't afford this, like you're not supposed to be here. You can have on a suit, you can have the nicest outfit on, you can look like you just stepped out of a GQ magazine, straight out of the Vogue magazine. And because of that skin color, they got some of them that will look at you kind of funny. Now, when they get to know you and they get your money and all that, it's different. But they don't know you, they're looking at you funny. Meanwhile, somebody that's not black can look like they came in smooth off the streets. And they'll be waiting on them hand and feet. They ain't got two nickels to rub together. But they are allowed to walk around and look. And, because, hey, you never know. They might decide to buy the whole store. I know y'all. I studied you. Yeah, I studied you. I know you. You can't get none of that over on me. This is why I don't pay attention to those overpriced stores. All that stuff is super overpriced. Now, I will not lie. I will buy stuff like that from time to time for loved ones, family and loved ones. If that's what they want, I get them what they want. But I don't care about that type of stuff. Not at all. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.